And yeah, we're
Alright.
live, Farooq. Hello, Madridistas. Welcome to another episode of Let's Be Real. We are coming hot on the backs of an excellent El Clasico
Really
victory.
hot.
Really hot, Farooq. And yeah, things are looking good for us. We've been scoring a bunch of goals. Our team has looked good defensively. Take it away, Farooq. What are your general thoughts after the Clasico?
I mean, Jacob, when you say things are looking good for us, you come back to a 3 game span against what's it called? Uh, Barca, Atleti, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken. And remind me who was the third one? There was a 3 game span where it was Atletico,
Betis?
Barca, and it was Atletico, Barca, and Barca actually.
Oh,
Because we played Barca, Atletico, and then Barca in the Cup as well. There's a 3 game span where I think we had like 2 shots on target in total and 0 goals scored. We scored one against Atletico, which was the goal from Alvaro, the header,
yeah.
when he came on in game. And you come back to that, and we have back-to-back games where we are scoring I mean, the point is, in the last 2 games, we could have scored 12, 15 goals. Even yesterday against Barcelona, we could have scored 6 goals easily. Easy 6 goals. Honestly. And so that's the thing, when you say things are looking good, I feel like that's an understatement. You're underselling it. Things are looking fucking good. Add that there so they can be an emphasis. So
Yeah.
people can know that, yeah, let people spread the word like we are back.
Heck
We
yeah.
are back. Let them spread the word. Now we remember how to score goals, so we are back.
Yeah, and Dennis is already in the comments. He says Real Madrid versus Villarreal. Villarreal always give us tough games, but I think we will win 2-0. Like, yeah, man. Even Dennis is feeling super positive. He even thinks that we'll keep a clean sheet. So,
Yeah, man. I mean, I share his sentiments, honestly, but I don't share the sentiments of the clean sheets just yet. But I share his sentiment of scoring goals. I believe we will score goals, honestly. I believe. And because honestly, like Villarreal also, I've always been an exciting team to play. So I believe we will score goals actually. So yeah, I'm with Dennis here as well. I think we're gonna score, Dennis. I mean, at least for your sake, we're gonna score a couple of goals. If only we have been as consistent as Dennis has been, man. Dennis is always here, always 247, 365 a year. So yeah, man, shout out to Dennis.
yeah, even before we are live, Dennis is always already there. So, huge props to Dennis.
Yeah, man, exactly. Props to him, man. Props to him.
Anyways, but I wanted to ask you, like, you weren't in the post match, neither was I, but I wanted to ask you, like, how did you feel about the first half? How did we play in the El Clasico?
Actually, I don't know where you watched the game from, but there was something that this guy said that resonated with me a lot. Ali Meron on ESPN at halftime. He said that this is Champions League Real Madrid.
Mhm.
You understand? Because the point is that, honest to God, like in the first half, we had no business taking the lead. Going in at parity would have been okay, a bit of a good, not a fair, because Barca were, in my opinion, at least Barca were the better side in the first half. Going in there for a bit of parity would have been a good thing for us, but we had no business going in ahead. But for some reason, let me flip the question to you, Jacob. What is the biggest difference you notice between this and the last 3 Clásicos we played? We lost 3 Clásicos on the spin, right?
Yeah.
What can you tell me one thing you noticed? I don't know, maybe we will share the same opinion. I just want to say yours before I say mine.
Okay, that's a hard question to answer. But just to your point about like yeah, that commentator saying, "Hey, this is the UCL Real Madrid." So I was like there in the comments also saying that this was exactly how we played Liverpool in the Champions League final. We had a really subpar first half. We sat at the back. We tried to defend for our lives. We had a like X number, maybe 20 or 15 number blocks on our goal. Our defenders and goalkeeper were like top notch. And but still, in that first half, we probably had one of the best chances of the game in the form of the ball landing to Benzema, and then he just couldn't connect properly. And that happened this game as well. Like people shouldn't, take credit away from us because we did in the end have the best chance of the half. As for how it was different from the other Clásicos, I feel it is just a nitty-gritty defense, man. Like usually, like you even saw Kamavinga making a couple of last-ditch tackles, Alaba getting a couple of crucial blocks in. I just didn't see that in the other Clásico. It was just a nitty-gritty defense, which we've been missing so far in the season. I feel like,
Let me tell you something, Jacob.
okay,
How many times did Vinicius beat Araujo in the 3 Clásicos. How many?
Oh,
Maybe twice
no.
across 3 games. Maybe once or twice across 3 separate games.
It didn't matter
For
too.
whatever reason, yesterday Vinicius found Araujo's number.
I mean, yesterday it was different, right? In the compared to the other Clásicos, even if Vinicius actually beats Araujo, he'll be completely surrounded by three other Barca defenders. And that just didn't happen this game. Even when he beat Araujo, that was it. He was basically in the box,
Man, he
available to
wasn't
do
beating
whatever.
Araujo in the other games, man. He wasn't
Really?
beating Araujo in the other games. Nope. I can tell you, maybe he beat Araujo maybe 2 or 3 times across the all 3 games. He didn't beat Araujo, man. Nope. Nah. Nada.
In the first
But
half,
yesterday,
he I feel like it was a comparable performance for Vinicius in the first half against Araujo. He didn't have too much success. Even when he had a few couple of moments where he got free, Araujo just shoved him down, and then it was a foul.
because one thing I do remember a lot is that whenever Vini went 1v1 with Araujo, he almost came out second best in the 3 previous Clásicos. But for some reason, yesterday something changed. Honestly, because even they can see the highlight of the game, where he did the step over and Araujo went left and he went right, so it was like literally that's something for the for the highlights. That was something that has never happened with Vini and Araujo before. I have seen Vini humiliate a lot of defenders, but Araujo was that one person who he hasn't done that against, and yesterday for some reason he came to life. Honestly, yesterday for some reason he came to life. And I think the second thing that actually happened is in the second half is that we played so high up the pitch. We played really, really high up the pitch as well. So honestly, kudos to the team, and kudos to Carlo and the guys for for getting this done as well. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is, honestly. Like, this is what Carlo does. This is how he rolls. This is how he operates. But I want it to be known, and I will reiterate my stance, which I've been saying for the past 1 year and a half. Even if Carlo wins, he should go. This is my opinion. Because even yesterday, not to bash anything or take anything away from anything, even yesterday, you could see that they were, how can I say it? In my opinion, we still play hero ball. We still need that, individual brilliance to shine through.
I
We
mean,
still don't play as that cohesive a unit, in my opinion. You understand? And I have said this before. I think Carlo will still end the season with something. You understand? So I just hope that this doesn't come and change the stance of the board. Because the thing is that one thing we know is that Carlo is the guy who will not rock the boat. You know, he will try to do the best he can with the people he can. And that means keep playing with Mendy, who is unavailable for 6 months out of 10, and Dani Carvajal with Lucas Vasquez as his deputy. This is what it means again next year. We need a coach who is going to come and say, no, we cannot do this. We need to try something different. Even if it's putting the kids, we have to do something else. If it means playing Alvaro, we have to find a sub for Benz. Honestly, these are the things that we need to put into consideration. I know that everyone is high and everyone is happy right now, but I still want them to realize the reason why we're inspired Barcelona. This is the team. Let's not forget this, honestly, because as I've said this, in one-on-one games, I will always fancy my team against Barcelona 100%. I mean, this is not 2009 or 2011 where they were like far more better than us, but right now, no. I think now we are much more better than them. We've been better than them for the past 3, 4, 5 years. Honestly, we've just not been able to take advantage until yesterday. Actually, you understand? But there is a reason why, even in this period, we have a limited number of leagues and what is and what is not. Honestly, so that's why I just feel like, irrespective, But I've said this is my own personal opinion. What the board does or what they don't do is something else. Let Carlo go. Let him go and win the World Cup with Brazil, and he will complete football and retire a happy man.
leave it to Farouk to, bring us back to reality, and then. But I still don't completely agree with it, Farouk. You mentioned the hero ball, right, yesterday in the Clasico, but then I feel like Barcelona were really bad, especially in the second half. They completely lost their marbles, which was why we completely dominated them. But then at that point, it wasn't just one player in the form of Vini or Benzema playing hero ball. The whole team was playing really, really excellent football. So you can't say like, hey, it's completely hero ball because we did have really good moments in the form of Modric bombing up the pitch, Rodrigo like offering a good, really good outlet at every single attack. so that the defenders weren't completely focused on Vinny and Benz. So yeah, we did see a bunch of good positive stuff. We just let's just hope that this continues, and then Carlo.
Yeah, that's the thing, Jacob. Like as you said rightly, like after the 68th minute, this is the Real Madrid we want to see. But what was the point after the 68th minute? The 68th minute we were already 2-0 up, and I don't know, for some reason, which I think it's something which might be related to why Barca keeps collapsing in Europe. Barcelona forgot how to play football.
Oh,
You understand? Really, like as you said, like Barca were bad. After the 68th minute, they forgot how to play football, and we just started to ball. As tonight said on the pod yesterday, this is, I think it's maybe the first time I've also seen this, that actually Barca actually totally forgot how to play football. No, I think maybe no, it's not the first time. I don't know if you can remember the time where Cristiano got the red card
oh yeah, yeah.
in the Super
Super
Cup at
Cup.
the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That game we could have scored 7, honest to God, but it still ended as 3-1. That game, I felt we were so over dominant, superior, whatever the adjectives are. We were that over Barcelona, honestly. And this game is too, honestly. But what I'm saying to you is that, honestly, in my opinion, at least for me personally, why I'm saying hero ball is this: the goal from Thibaut Courtois that he saves from Lewandowski that led to Karim Benzema's goal. This is hero ball. This is what I'm saying.
Uh,
You understand? So it's just in the blink of the moment, it's a counter attack, and it goes, and this is it. But what I'm saying to you here, Jacob, is this: except if you're telling me the fact that okay, we agree that we are a team that's gonna sit down, wait, you hit you how can I say it? You attack us, you pin us down, and we just ping one long ball to Benz, he knocks it down to Vinicius, and he gives it back to Benz, and he score. Except if you tell me that okay, this is what Real Madrid is, then I can accept that. Okay, then there is no need to argue anymore. This is just the end of
I
it.
see.
If this is who we are, and if this is what we are, then this is a whole different argument. And some people might want to bring me with the Mourinho thing, and I will tell them, see, Mourinho's people were running at defense with 7 people. I don't know if you could recall that, but like there's this very special goal from Ajax. They ran at the defense with 6 people: Ozil, Di Maria, Benzema, Ronaldo. They ran at the defense with 6 people. I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, it's there, honestly. So even Zizou in a second tenure, for all the the douchebags that will say Zidane doesn't have any tactics or anything, go and see what he did in his second tenure. That was a tactical masterclass, in my opinion, honestly. And I'm not saying Carlo doesn't have tactics. Every coach has their tactics, you understand. But the point is, I just feel like at this certain point in time, Carlo Ancelotti cannot build the next great Real Madrid. He will continue to play with the Modric's, the Cruzes, the Benzemas, the Dani Carvajals, the David Alabas. These are all people who are 30 plus. We need to move to the next phase. And Carlo, as I said, he's not going to rock the boat. He's not going to tell them that he needs this and that. Why did Zidane leave in the first place? Because he told them, they said, no, we can't do this. They didn't support him, and he left. He
I
left.
think. I
I
think.
mean, I was
Yeah.
saying to you before the pod, sorry for interrupting, Jacob. Let me just get all my vexing out, I was saying to you just before the pod, like, whoever played Kamavinga as a fullback, God bless their soul.
Yeah.
Honestly. Because the point is, I told you, like, maybe I can count on one hand how many times I can say to you, Mendy was good defensively and offensively. I've always reiterated this. I think, in my personal opinion, Mendy is the best defensive fullback in the world, in my opinion. But what about the offense?
Well,
Yesterday, Kamavinga gave the, I don't know, he laid out the blueprint that, okay, this is how to play the role of a fullback with Vinicius. He
yeah, man,
didn't
and he
overshadow
he
Vinicius,
he
but he
found
supported
Vinicius
Vinicius.
he perfectly found Vinicius every single time. And the thing is,
Exactly.
he had zero, he had 100% pass completion rate. So, and he was like, attempting not just safe passes, he was like finding Vinicius every single time.
The point is not the pass completion, my friend. The point is the tackles completion. He has, I
Tackles,
think,
yeah.
the highest tackles completion. Also, I think he had 7 out of 7 or 7 out of 8. I'm not sure. He had the highest tackles completed in the team as well. You
Yeah.
understand? So, because I mean, passing accuracy can be a bit, misleading, because if you play it safe always, you can get away with a very high number of passing accuracy or what is not. But the point is that you could see it. You could see that connection with him and Vinicius. He wasn't overshadowing Vinicius. Neither was he neglecting his defensive duties as well. The man shocked Rafinha. Although I
Yeah.
don't agree with the guys that Rafinha is overrated or whatever, I think Rafinha has been so good. And I mean, the way he has tormented us in the past 3, at least 2 of the 3 Clásicos, I mean, it will be somehow for me to come and say, no, he's not good, then that means our defense is not good. Then if someone who is bad as Rafinha, and Rafinha has been good honestly for Barcelona, but yesterday he met someone who is greater than his match in Camavinga, you know. And I remember also on the pod yesterday when I was listening this morning, Dololo said he needs a 10 minutes apology from me about Camavinga, the greatest Frenchman to ever play the game. Okay, Lolo, if you're there listening to me, this is me officially apologizing for doubting the greatest Frenchman to ever play the game. Okay,
Wow.
after yesterday, there is nothing to discuss, because for me, honestly, my player yesterday was Camavinga, at least for me. Or I did not know, I didn't see the start of the passing or the tackles or anything, but just watching him in the game, and he had this attitude of this never say die attitude, that reminds you of Pepe, that reminds you of Sergio Ramos, that reminds you of Marcelo. I don't, if you could recall, I think he was injured in the first 5 minutes or the first 7 minutes. I can't recall
Yeah.
what number it is exactly. And it was like he was gone, really, because the way he was limping, like he was gone. But the man
Wow.
fought through and was my man of the match. You know, these are the kind of players we want. Mendy is not available for 60% of the season. 60 what? Then what's the point?
I mean,
What's
yeah,
the point?
Farooq, I hear you, but the thing is, exactly right. You said your man of the match is Kamavinga. People had a bunch of other men. Obviously, Benzema is right up there. Vinny maybe up there. Rodrigo as well. Modric as well. So we have
Yep, yep.
all of these like huge talents, right? And the reason Hero Ball works so often for us is these guys are capable of performing magic at any single moment. Like we don't really need a tactical identity. And just to bring us back to reality and towards the gaming in La Liga, Kike Setien had a similar thing to say about us. He said, "You never know what is better or worse against Madrid. You don't know if it's better to dominate or be dominated. Having chances and scoring or scoring at the end. It is a team different from all the others. With Madrid, it is always undecipherable because you don't know who's going to perform that miracle. You don't know which version of Madrid is going to turn up, especially this season." And I feel like that has helped us, like, especially in Champions League of the past. Teams just don't know how to play against us and which version of us they'll get. So Hero Ball has, worked out very well for us. And I totally hear you. Like, yeah, in difficult moments, like we never have seem to have an answer of consistently getting us goals, especially in the league. So yeah, it comes with its pros as well as cons, Farooq. And
Definitely, that's the thing. Like, it comes. I've said, like, it's not just that. As I said to you, like, the point becomes this, like, what do you want to classify yourself as? This is just the question. That's the thing. Like, if you wanna see yourself as the team that will defend deep, like we defended against Paris last year. We're just gonna throw the ball and move. You know, that's something as well. Because I will always remind people as well. Before the game against Paris last year, we had the same performance against Shakhtar Donetsk. We had the same performance against Sevilla, where we defend deep in our half and just try to hit one player on the counter, and we go on. You understand? So this is the thing. Like, as you said, obviously it has the pros and the cons. Without Hero Ball, obviously you're not winning against Chelsea, you're not winning against Man City, you're not winning, in these games. Without this kind of Hero Balls, I mean, Real Madrid is a team that's built on Hero Ball. That's why
yeah,
Cristiano is a player that suited, the team to the T. But what I'm saying to you is that if you don't have any other plan other than Hero Ball, then how do you figure that?
which is why, like, the stats speak for themselves. Carlo is not a league coach. He has hugely underperformed, even with like excellent teams. He has refused to like
Yeah,
concentrate and
yeah,
win
yeah,
the league,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that is always going to be
That's,
the
I mean,
case.
for me, what I'm just searching for here, Jacob, is consistency, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, if I am a defensive coach like Diego Simeone, I win 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. I know this is what I do. You understand? If I'm going to be a more progressive coach, and I know that, okay, I'm going to go all out, push, press, eye up the pitch, and what is not. You understand? If we win 4-3, lose 5-4, this is what we are. You understand? But when we get caught in between both this and that, we only are able to push up high. I mean, the only team we play well against is Liverpool. I don't know
that's a
why, but the
fact.
only team we seem to be able to perform 100%. I think maybe it's because of the high line of Liverpool, but it's Liverpool. Whatever they are, if they're good, they're bad in the middle, whatever, just bring Liverpool. I know, okay, this is done. This is the team that I don't know for some reason we're able to play against with a lot of with great consistency. But honestly, I just felt like yesterday was long overdue, and as I've said, we are much more better than the Barcelona team. So it's high time actually that we actually got over this mental block and actually got something through. But I just wanted to reiterate the fact that, let's not get lost in this. Like, there's a reason why we're 12 points behind Barcelona as well. We need to, I mean, at least I personally don't think we became the best team in the world overnight because we defeated Barcelona 4-0. Because, I mean, there are a lot of teams that will consider defeating Barcelona as nothing. But the fact that we lost 3 straight games to them, so, means we have to enjoy that as well. And, yeah, it gives us a chance to win a trophy against Osasuna as well. So, it was a good game all around, but it was a really interesting game. I really loved it and I enjoyed it a lot, honest to God. But I just want to reiterate that uh something still needs to be talked. We still need to have the difficult talks, honestly,
Yeah.
and let's see how it goes.
Okay, man. Well, there you have it. Let's get back into the doom and gloom of La Liga. And Farooq, we're not 12 points behind, we're just 11 points behind.
Oh, it's 11. Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry for adding on your misery with one more point.
All right. But one team who is still like really, really fighting for La Liga is Villarreal. So right now they're only 4 points from the fourth Champions League spot. And they are coming off of a hot victory against Sociedad where they beat them 2-0, which brought them like closer to and closer to the Champions League. So they are going to be out and about, man. They are going to be looking for our heads. They're going to be feeling pretty confident having beat us 2-1 in the last game. Farooq, do you remember the happenings of the last game and how it was a kind of controversial game with multiple penalties? And then
I think it
they
was a game where Tony Kroos had a hand, like a penalty shout or something like this. If
it was
I
it was
can't recall.
Alaba. It was Alaba.
It was Alaba, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I can't recall the exact details of it, but I do
So
remember like
yeah,
there was that.
what basically happened was so Vinny had a long ball. Chomini put a long ball towards Livini, and then
Yeah,
it hit probably 1/4, I guess, which was like hardly a handball. It was like minuscule touch, and then VAR suddenly caught it. None of the players caught it. None of the people watching in real time caught it. VAR suddenly said that it was a penalty. Benzema scored, and then suddenly we had the same happen at the opposite end of the pitch with Alaba. So he was just trying to defend. Even against Barca, you saw that with Gavi, he had like a
yeah,
clear
yeah, yeah,
handball. It was similar
yeah, yeah.
to that. So that was called, and in the Barca game, which wasn't called, which was lucky for us. Did you think it was game over at that point, Farooq, with when you saw that handball?
No, man, I thought because the thing is, you see, what I how can I say that the interpretation of the handball is so subjective that you never can tell. But
Yeah.
what I just felt was that the ball was too close and his hand was too close to the ground for him to be able to actually move the hand. That was what I thought, and the ref actually, also agreed with my thought. But I was a bit skeptical. But I wasn't too like. I mean, I personally thought it wasn't a penalty. But then I also knew that like these guys they have everyone has a different interpretation for that. So I'm not really too sure what they meant or what they don't mean by what the penalty is anymore. So yeah, honestly, I wasn't too sure, like live, but I personally thought it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, man, for sure it was not. It wasn't in the Villarreal game as well, but then that referee thought that it was. So
This
yeah,
is what I'm talking about. It's a very subjective course. Actually, this is a problem with the penalties. They're very subjective. Like this ref sees it a different way, the other ref sees it a different way. Actually, so this is another issue as well.
yeah. And okay, Dennis is in the chat. He asks question to Farooq and Jacob. Would you guys rest players for the Chelsea game? You want to take it, Farooq?
Definitely, 100%. I mean, after the exertions of Thursday, or was it Wednesday or Wednesday night? Sorry, I think it's only fair that we try to rest some players. Uh, I think what can happen is I don't know, but I was just thinking about this actually earlier.
Hmm.
Uh, I was thinking of players like Lucas Vasquez, coming in for the likes of Danny Carvajal, maybe even I mean rest Camavinga as well, because the point is we don't have fullbacks against Chelsea as well. So you can throw a rest to a player like Camavinga. I know like players like Vini and Benz will most likely play even again, but maybe you want to give a Luka Modric a rest. Play Chouameni, Dani Ceballos, Tony Cross midfield, something like this. I don't know with Fede as well because Fede is whatever it is, and give a chance to Marco Asensio as well. Just a rotation, but not too much rotation as well. I don't know if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, David Alaba and Militao play as usual. Thibaut plays as usual. So I think a couple of rotations here and there wouldn't hurt the team too much because the point is your 11 or 12 point behind doesn't really matter just as long as because we play Chelsea at home as well, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
So I think it's gonna be right, if we can keep the players fresh and let's not forget about the exhaustion and overplaying of Karim Benzema that's led to his dip in form recently as well, especially and with his injuries as well. So I think managing Luka Modric's time will make a lot of sense. Managing Karim Benzema, let him play, I don't know, 50, 60 minutes, sub him off, whatever happens happens. So we know Danny Carvajal already, the kind of player he is. He's always a hit and go. So also you can take him out of the equation, at least give him the chance. And the point is that we have no left back, so Kamavinga also should be rested. But yeah, I totally agree that we need to have a bit of shuffle, in the lineup this weekend.
Okay, man. But yeah, Dennis does remind us that we must not lose or draw this game because if Atleti win on Sunday, they would be like only 2 points behind us. And that becomes really very, very complicated as well. And especially against the Villarreal side who have already won against us. I'm pretty sure Carlo is gonna field a pretty strong lineup. We might see a couple of changes in the midfield and in the defense, with Rudiger also fit. Maybe even Nacho comes on, but I just don't see a lot of wholesale changes, man. And I feel like if Benzema can walk, he's just gonna keep him on the pitch.
No,
It,
Benzema is gonna play. Benzema and Vini are gonna play. What I think is that most likely it's gonna be Rodrigo out, maybe for Asensio or like for a Fede, and he's
yeah,
gonna reshuffle the midfield. But what I really do hope that he takes out the two fullbacks, in both Carvajal and I'm sorry to say also we
Camavinga.
will categorize him as a fullback right now, Kamavinga as well. I will love him to take them both out. So maybe he can play Lucas Vasquez and Nacho, as the fullbacks, because honestly, as I said, as I think as well, like the greatest weapons Chelsea possess right now only remains as their fullback, Chilwell and Reece James. Those are the only two weapons that you can actually be scared of in Chelsea because right now, and give Kai Havertz an empty net, he will most likely score an own goal. So this is the
Wow.
thing. That's the thing, honestly. So, and especially with the return of Frank Lampard to Chelsea, I don't even know how they run their club at Chelsea, honestly. I mean, if there is any definition of privilege, Lampard returning to Chelsea is the very definition of privilege, honestly. I don't know how he left Everton in the relegation zone and he's getting the Chelsea job. Honestly, it's so weird. But then, anyways, that's their problem. Let's just dispatch them with the utmost ease and forget about them. Let them keep dealing with their issues. That's not our problem. So I really want us to have a rested team. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as you said, if Benz works, Benz plays. But yeah, that's how it is. Unfortunately, there is no sub for Benz right now. So I don't know. What do you think? Well, how do you see the changes going or not going?
Yeah, of course, because Luka Modric, I believe he had the highest running numbers in the El Clasico as well. He was running up the pitch. He was the first man to press. Cruz also, he didn't look like he was at his like utmost best. He had a few shaking moments especially in the first half in offense. Defensively, he
Yeah.
was fine, but offensively, he was like far, far from his best. So I feel like those two, if they are rested, it will be a good showing for Chelsea. And the fullbacks, I'm not sure for with Kamavinga, he's still young. He can still play. I feel like him having a good run of play against competitive fullback in the form of Chukwueze or maybe even Yermi Pino will be good. You know, just for a practice match against before playing Chelsea.
Actually, why I do agree with that, but my fear is just about the fact, about this crazy issue of injury of muscle fatigue. And as we know, Camavinga has been coming to the fore right now. He's played quite a lot of games, and even for
Yeah.
France as well, because he's replaced Tchouaméni both at Real Madrid and at France, So he's clocked in a lot of minutes. So I'll be worried of, muscle injury or muscle fatigue, as they call it. So I really don't want to take that chance, honestly.
Mm. And we have John Pa in the comments. Welcome, John Pa. If you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing or liking. He just says Bonsoir, Hala Madrid and Kamavinga with a bunch of white hearts. I mean,
What's that?
uh, so yeah, just a lot of general love for Kamavinga, especially from the France side of the country. Hmm.
Yeah. I hope we can get the job done in the first leg at the Bernabeu, man, because we don't want to leave any chance to go into England, man, honestly.
Yeah, well, Dennis also says that I can't wait to play Chelsea proper because Lampard is back and they will play a mount against us.
I don't know, man, honestly. I mean, for me, in Chelsea, like, the fullbacks and the return of Kante is what scares me a lot because
Yeah,
I've always said, like, I think Kante he's a one-man driving force, man. So, the more rested our midfield is, the better because that man is a monster, honestly. He's nothing
that
but a
is true,
monster. But yeah,
and it is no simple version of Kante we are facing. We are facing Ramadan Kante.
exactly. You're facing Ramadan as well. So this is like Kante updated version 3.0, not even 2.0, It's like a
Yeah,
3.0 version of Kante. So honestly, one has to one has to do that. But I mean, let's not jump ahead,
yeah,
we still have the Villarreal game to deal with, honestly. But honestly, I think I don't know, but I myself, like, my mind will not be too much on the Villarreal game, but rather on the Chelsea game. But it's only fair that we give Villarreal the respect that they deserve. And as you said, like, it's been quite because I do remember even the last game we played them was in the Copa where we won 3-2. It was also under Motanda as well. Yeah,
yeah,
I remember that game as well. So it's been a very, very tough couple of fixtures against Villarreal. So we have to be really, really careful, the way we play them. So because the point is there's nothing more deflating than having to suffer a defeat at your home before you play Chelsea. So we want to avoid that by all costs.
yeah. That is true, man. Yeah, we're gonna have a really strong lineup at least, and let's just hope, Villarreal with all of their missing players, do finally succumb to our attack. So right now they are sixth in the league, just 4 points away from fourth. They won against Osasuna, Sociedad, and they do have a cool winning streak going on with four straight wins. If they do win against us, it's going to be five. But they can't afford to slip up, Farooq. So right now, how the table looks like is that Athletic Club are 4 points behind them, and Rayo are right there as well, hot on their heels. Yeah. Did you imagine, like, at this point of the season, this is how the table would look like exactly?
Honestly, not exactly so because I would always say, like, Sevilla is always a team that I've always expected to be quite high on the on the table. I think other than the exception of Sevilla, I would say these are the regular suspects. Villarreal, Real Betis, Sociedad. These are the guys. Well, honestly, like, I think the exception is because the thing is that we know this, whether you like it or not. The Pellegrini's team, Mano Pellegrini's team are always gonna be fighting for something. Similarly, the Yellow Submarines are really good, and we know also La Real, and Sociedad are a very, very strong team as well. They've always been so. It's just normal, but the only anomaly here is Sevilla fighting the relegation battle. Honestly, like, I mean, because they are not still not clear yet.
Yeah,
So other than Sevilla, I think it's fine. But I think I would say maybe Vallecano has been the surprise because I think even last year they were quite high, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
yeah,
So their ability to maintain that maybe might be the surprise for me. Just but other than that, I think it's been all safe sailing, man.
yeah, man. Like, I think every single Madridista still has PTSD from losing to that Rayo side. They were so dominant,
Yeah,
we never had
exactly.
a chance.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I mean, that was the beginning of the end for us, man. I think those. I think after Rayo game, then we had the Mallorca game.
Yeah,
I think those were the and when you add in the games against Villarreal as also, those were the games that we actually lost everything. Honestly.
yeah. And Dennis also says just keeping up with the La Liga table. I hope Valencia gets relegated, man.
Oh, actually, Valencia and Peter Lima has been, really honestly, like, it's been a really, really bad marriage, man. Honestly, Peter Lima has literally almost drove them into the ground, man. Honestly, it's been just really, really bad appointments upon bad appointments, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool. Yeah, and we do have like a few positive news at least for this game because they are missing crucial players. So if you remember in the first time we faced them in the league, Coquelin and Etienne Capu, Gerard Moreno, they're all running circles around us, especially Gerard Moreno.
yep,
He was the main for point of attack. He was spraying through balls
yeah,
here and there. but all of them are injured, including Raul Albiol.
Oh, I see. Wow. I do remember like Moreno was really, really good against us. Also, Albiol was quite good as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're missing crucial players. Then I guess yeah, that's this is a time to pounce, man. This is a time because I keep saying like we just need to keep boosting the morale honestly, and the more you defeat your closer rivals, especially when you consider Villarreal as we lost in the first leg, so it's like a revenge also. So although it's not going to be the same magnitude as the Barca game, but a revenge is a revenge irrespective. So we need to boost that morale. We need to get in the scoring, man. Honestly, we need to start scoring as much as we can. Honestly, we need to remember that because we've gone quite a while without scoring quite often in the game. So, yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to the game at the weekend because it seems to be a game that most likely would be interesting and also would also be I don't know a bit have an element of scariness in it as well.
Mm.
It's a game that promises so much, but also promises so little as well.
Yeah, man. And it's even though they are like missing crucial players, they do have some players who have risen from the dead. Like Chukwueze, he wasn't performing as good. He was injured for a bit in the mid part of the season. But right now, he is scoring goals for fun. He is getting on the end of every single cross. I think he has like 3 or 4 goals in the last 4 games. So that like red hot form has coincided with them having a winning streak. And especially like that's the hard part for us, right? We want to rest someone like Kamavinga. We want to give rest to our fullbacks. But if you're facing tricky wingers like this, like you just can't do it, man.
No, that's very true. Honestly, the case of Samu Chukwueze is a very curious one for me because he's a Nigerian, so I always want him to do good, except when he plays against us. You understand, honestly. So that's why the case of Chukwueze. Actually, Chukwueze once upon a time, was very highly touted, like even higher than Victor Osimhen of Napoli. Actually, he was thought to be the next best thing because I don't know if you follow the trajectory of Osimhen, but Osimhen actually once upon a time was rotting on the bench at Wolfsburg actually before he got to move to before I think he went somewhere and then he moved to Lille and then from Lille to Napoli actually. So
Mm,
before the big break of Victor Osimhen, actually the likes of Samu Chukwueze were actually quite highly rated than him. So we're still waiting for that, big blowing of Chukwueze, honestly. But he's also been very unfortunate with injuries, actually, Chukwueze.
yeah, yeah,
But that's one thing with tricky wingers, like you always find them, almost always injured and something like that. So yeah, I think if Chukwueze can, step up and look after his body better, I think he seems to be a very, very promising player in there, actually.
yeah. How has he been on the international front? Has he been able to link up well with Osimhen?
Not really, actually. The thing is that, like, actually, Nigeria has a plethora of attackers actually right now. That it's like fitting square pegs in round holes. We have attackers and we don't have midfielders and defenders, especially defenders we don't have and
Mm,
fullbacks. You know, we have lots and lots of it. I mean, because I don't know if you know, but we have I don't know if you seen a lot of Syria. We have Ademola Lookman at Atlanta as well. Then we have, a more prominent player who plays quite a lot for Nigeria in Kelechi Iheanacho. He was formerly at Man City at Leicester.
yeah, yeah.
So because of that, like just we try to fit square pegs in round. I think we have Moses Simon as well. I can't remember where he plays for, but we have this guy at it's not Sheffield, sorry, one of the English clubs as well. I forgot his name just right now, actually. But yeah, we have just a couple of players there and here, so we have a couple of them in Ligue 1 as well. So we have a lot of attackers. That's just a summary of what I just want to give there. We have
Okay.
quite a number of attackers, so honestly, it's been quite difficult to fit them all into the team. But the more issue is in the past we used to have a lot of midfielders,
Mm,
but we had no one to score goals. But now we have a lot of people who score goals, but there's no one to provide them. You understand? So it's quite interesting, honestly. So yeah, this is because right now, like our midfielders are Alex Iwobi, Alex Iwobi at Everton. And we have Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester, but we don't have that creative player, honestly, to link between the midfield and the attack. But yeah,
okay.
so far so good. It's not been very bright for Chukwueze on the national front. Honestly, he has been getting his chances, but it's not been very productive, which is similar for all of the other strikers, even including Victor Osimhen as well.
Mm. Well, yeah, let's hope things improve. Let's hope you find a hidden gem in La Liga for a Nigerian.
Hopefully.
Yeah, man. But we were talking about how Araujo was performing really well against Vinny. But one other fullback that Vinny has always had trouble playing against was Juan Foyth. And he is
Yes.
alive and kicking, and he's at the top of his game
Uh,
even now. How do you think Vinny is
Actually,
going to fare against him?
Foyt was a center back at first, who was converted to a fullback, and Foyt now also is a World Cup winning defender as well. He won the World Cup with Argentina,
Oh,
so that added a spring to his step actually. But Foyt has always been a curious character because I remember him at Spurs. I always liked him actually under Mauricio Pochettino. I always felt like he was a good up and coming player, but it never did work out for him in England. And now he plays a fullback permanently. Like, the thing about those kind of fullbacks like Foyt is similar to Araujo, they primarily center backs by trade.
hmm.
So this is one thing that both Foyt and Ronald Araujo has in common. They're primarily center backs by trade. So they have that nastiness that you normally would not associate to a fullback. Because usually fullbacks are like flary players, Fullbacks are people like Carvajal, like Marcelo, They
Like
like
Kamavinga?
they defend. Nah. This is why Kamavinga is different because he doesn't have that, natural fullback sense, really. So I don't know how to put it, but like those fullbacks, like they almost don't have that, that grit, that how can I say it? That be like hard worker attitude. I don't know if that's the right word, but that attitude of you beat me, I'm here again. You go
Oh,
past me, I just reappear. You go past me, so that's something that center backs have a lot, honestly. So that's the thing that I can relate between Arau and Foyt, and that's one of the reasons why wingers actually hate playing against center backs who are fullbacks. Like, even you can see with Nacho as well. When he plays as a fullback, like he's always just there continuously, just reappearing until you get tired and frustrated. So yeah, that's the thing. It's gonna be a very. But I think one advantage we have, as you said, is Raul Albiol is out,
yeah.
honestly. So that might at least reduce the fact that, because the point is that they don't just defend Vini as an individual, whether it's Araujo or One Foyt. They defend him as a unit. You
Yeah.
know, with it was, I remember, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was usually Foyt and Albiol. It was Araujo and Kunde. They were defending as a unit, not as as an individual entity. So anybody who replaces Raul Albiol is going to be a drop off for sure, 100%. So at least maybe we can take a bit of advantage of that drop off in the eventual change. Maybe that can be something that can be, but I don't know, man. I think Vini has found a bit of mojo. I think after I think at least this is what I want to believe, that after going past Araujo, I think he will believe that he can go past anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Like one on one, Araujo is probably one of the best defensive right backs as well.
Yep. Actually, Araujo is a center back. They just deploy him to face this guy. That's because normally, if I'm not mistaken, Kunde plays that position. But
Kunde.
when it comes to playing Vinicius, they just they switch around.
Yeah, man. And you were talking about like the art of defending, right? They always had take pride in defense, these center backs. And unlike
Exactly.
fullbacks who prefer having, a goal contribution or two in the team or in a game, these center backs live for getting tackles, live for getting the ball cleanly. Yeah, totally get that.
Definitely. Actually, this is how it goes actually for those guys. But then, yeah, it's quite interesting. But the point is, some people live for defending, some people live for attacking. So it's the matter of who does it better. And so far, so good. I want to put my money on Vinicius Junior. I believe that he's gonna be a better attacker than Foyt is a better defender. So let's see how it goes eventually.
Heck yeah, man. And especially like since Foyth was also getting a lot of support from their midfield in the form of Coquelin and even Etienne Capoue after he was subbed on in the
Etienne
last game.
Capoue as well.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah,
So they are
exactly.
going to be they're going to be huge misses, and it's going to be for them. It's going the midfield is going to be looking like Ramon Terraz, Dani Parejo, and Alex Baena. Baena is a firecracker, man. We should be
Oh,
watching out for it.
yeah, Bayern is a really good one. I do remember that. I remember by Alex Bayern was really. I think at the beginning of the season he was really flying high a lot, scoring a lot of goals. If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
I don't know if he still maintained that form right now. But actually, away from even Alex Bayern, actually, one thing I could remember is, I don't know if you remember that, like Vini and the Valencia bench had an issue. Sorry, and the Villarreal bench had an issue in the first leg. Do you remember, like, even with Pepe Reina taunting him, he was about to fight Pepe Reina, this and that.
Yeah, I mean, it was flat tempers for sure that game because of all the penalties and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, because I do remember this, especially because, like, Vini, for every throw in or tackle at anything, he was just talking to some people on the bench, and they were talking back to him. So I do hope they have both the teams have outgrown this, because one thing I do know is that Vini is a very short fused person. Even we saw in the Clasico as well, the game was going so well, there was no need to. I don't know what you think, but I felt like that was totally unnecessary. Because it took a whole market to calm him down. Like, I mean, chill, man. What the hell? We're winning. Then what do you want?
Did you
You know?
catch that comment about that interaction between Vinny and Ferran Torres?
No, I
Okay.
can't remember that.
Okay, so the cameras caught it like they caught the didn't catch the voice, but they caught the mouth and then deciphered what he was saying. So Vinny basically told when Ferran told him why he was getting angry and told him to like leave, he was getting subbed. Vinny told Ferran, "Mate, you're just terrible. Don't talk to me." This guy has a mouth
I
on
mean,
him, man. Yeah,
yeah, that's fine. Honestly, I have no problem with that, because I feel like it's just Vini, we having that aura of "I'm better than you" kind of thing, which is
yeah,
fine. But I mean, the point is, if you're being subbed off, and I mean you're winning 4-0, what's the point? Like, even Kroos had to go talk to him. This has to go. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was a whole fiasco, in my opinion, at least. I feel that this was something that was totally unneeded, but I don't know, man. I just feel like really some people need to talk to Vinicius Junior, because I feel like so far so good. No one is being able to talk to him. I don't know. Maybe
Hmm.
I'm overthinking that, but I think no one is being able to knock some sense into him right now. So I would yeah, I just hope he just calms the tempers down, because there is no need for some things, in my opinion,
Yeah.
honestly.
The
So
only
yeah.
person I feel like who actually talks to Vinny is Modric and Cruz. Cruz, you see all the time, like whispering in the ear of Vinny, like, "Don't do this, man. Like, go stay here, go to the attack."
Even in the game the other day, you could see like Cruz had to draw him, and was like, I think he was scolding him or something like that.
Yeah,
Because even Benz had to come and take him, and I don't know why all the fuss was for. I don't know, honestly, but I don't. I really, I just feel like he has to try to pan this down, because the point is, people will tolerate this while you're winning,
hmm.
but once you start losing, no one will tolerate this. No one. You understand? And the point is, you're not gonna win forever and ever. This is the truth. You're not gonna
Yeah,
win forever and ever. There's a limit to everything. Even Neymar thought the world wasn't gonna end, but now
yeah,
Neymar is an afterthought. You understand? So yeah, I think that's even the best example for him to look at. It's Neymar. Like, Neymar is now an afterthought. Neymar should be the ruler of football right now.
yeah,
But where is Neymar? Nowhere to be found. So that's the thing. When you're winning, people will tolerate all these things. But when you start losing, nah, no one will take this shit from you.
yeah, man, totally. Yeah, I'd just like to focus on one more like little bit of tidbit of transfer rumor with Real Villarreal. So apparently after the Clásico, because they defended so horribly against us, there is a Barca rumor saying that they're looking for right backs, which has been like their main thing for the season. And apparently they're looking at Juan Foyth, and the touted price tag is 54 million euros. Do you agree with that
Wow.
price tag, Farooq?
Wow.
I mean,
Well, I mean, the market is.
Leave it to Barcelona to, overpay for every single player.
No, I mean, the point is not about that. It's the point about, like, right now, when you look at what the market is. Don't forget that Cucurella left Brighton to Chelsea for 60 million euros.
Yeah.
You understand? So they will. I personally will also have that feeling that I think Cucurella is not that much better, even if he is any better than One Foyth. You understand? One Foyth is a World Cup winning centre back. Sorry, defender, or whatever he is, centre back, full back. You
True, true.
understand? So that's the market has been so inflated these days. I mean, don't forget, we're gonna pay about 100 million for Tchouaméni as well.
Yeah.
You understand? So the market has been so overpriced and overinflated. The likes of Darwin Nunez, Enzo Fernandez. So the market has been overinflated in the first place. So the price tags are just crazy right now. Honestly, I mean, at this point, this summer, just close your eyes. If the player is good, just forget the price tag and just cheer on your player. Because when you start to think of the price tag, I mean, you're not gonna go anywhere, honestly.
Yeah, especially like this winter transfer window was like pretty crazy. Do you think it was just because of the World Cup or Chelsea just getting a new owner?
Yeah, I think Chelsea getting a new owner who decided to play. I don't know what the opposite of Moneyball is,
Yeah,
but he decided to do the opposite of Moneyball and decided that he's gonna spend much more than I think it was all Chelsea, in my opinion. Chelsea were the primary reason why this all happened because you check they paid for Modric, they paid for Enzo Fernandez. Because when you look away from those two players, which other player went for such a high price? I don't think there is any. Modric and Enzo Fernandez after that, who went
yeah.
for a high price. I can't
Nope.
remember any off the top of my head, but maybe there is, but I can't remember really any off the top of my head. So they're the ones who broke the market, honestly.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, I was totally expecting a lot of like injuries to happen in the World Cup, but no, like a really important player was like totally missing from the World Cup.
Yeah, that's true actually. Like there wasn't that too much injuries from the World Cup. I mean, okay, obviously, yeah, Gabriel Jesus got injured for Arsenal at the
Mm,
World Cup as well, but Arsenal have done really well without him as well. So yeah, uh, as you said, it was a weird season, honestly, but it is what it is.
yeah, man. So, do you have anything else to talk about Villarreal, or let's get back into the Real Madrid side of things?
Yeah, let's get to the Real Madrid side of things, man. We've seen a bit of La Real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like you said, let's expect a really strong lineup against them, and they are going to bring the game to us, man. Like they really need to get the 4 points, close the gap, and get into the Champions League position. But anyways, did you catch any of Carlos' quotes in the press conference before they played us? I mean, the press conference, I guess it was a
Mm,
couple of hours back, a few hours back.
I can't remember off the top of my head,
Hmm.
but I did hear some things. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't
apparently,
remember what to.
the main it was a lot of personal questions towards Carlo. He wound up being really annoyed at the end. So the first question was,
Hmm.
"Hey Carlo, you're approaching like almost 1,300 games in your managerial career. Was this 4-0 victory against Barca like one of the highlights?" And he just answered, it's probably up there, but it's been so many matches that it doesn't really matter anymore. I've had like much bigger matches on much bigger levels of football, and those have been sweet all the same. But yesterday was like really a good game of football for my team, he said.
I see. Now that's a good one. He is right actually because he was a really good game of football for his team. To be honest, there is no doubt. But I think it's not. It's. I don't think it ranks anywhere close to the highest games that Caro has played. I don't think it
Mm.
ranks anywhere close. Honestly.
And the other interesting thing that happened out of the conference was he got asked like what's going to happen with the future of Cruz, Modric, and Benzema, even Nacho. So he said, I feel like everyone is going to stay because they're all sorting out their contracts with the club, and I feel like even though like their minutes might be limited a bit more because we have to bring in more young players, and as you become older, like you can't put in 10 out of 10 performances every game. But he said single one of them is going to stay. Does that seem like very, very surprising news to you, Father?
I mean, I don't know because the rumors I've been reading is that the club is no longer considering Jude Bellingham as a priority and stuff like that. This is what has been throwing out, what has been going around. At least what I've from the people I've been reading from, this is what they've been saying for the past month or so now. So I think maybe the reason why they're saying this is that like Tony Kroos and Luka Modric are both saying this might be one of the reasons why they will consider this. Honestly, this is why I think this might be true.
Yeah, man. But do you want it to be true? That is the question.
I mean, I've always said this. I have no problem with my midfield. Like, I am satisfied with my midfield. Keep Danny Ceballos and keep the guys. I have no issues with that. But my problem has always been, the lack of fullbacks, the lack of a second striker. We don't actually have a right winger on the team. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the
To
point is
be
one more year of Kroos and Modric is not a problem, I think.
Yeah, even Nacho, Ceballos, Asensio, all of them should stay. I don't feel like,
Maybe
except
not Asensio, honestly, but I think Ceballos has to stay.
Asensio is probably like the only kind of natural right back, right winger we have in the squad.
Yeah, but the question now becomes is that since you're willing to stay as a sub, if Asensio is willing to stay as a sub, fine, I'm fine with that as well. You understand? But the point is, let's not forget at the beginning of the season, he was giving interviews when he's saying never say never to Barcelona as well. So
Yeah,
if
that was
if,
crazy.
so I mean, that just shows about the frustration he's having about not playing. So that's the thing. So if he's willing to accept his role, like Nacho has done, like Lucas Vasquez has done. So yeah, if he's gonna be a very good team player, why not? Now, Asensio is a really, really good player to have in on the subs, man.
Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. I guess the only player who leaves at the end of the summer is Mariano, and depending on how the negotiations go with Ceballos and Asensio, of course. Do you think Nacho will be offered like a contract or judging from Carlo, like it looks like the club is offering all of these players extensions?
Actually, based on what Nacho has said, he's always said it's not about the money or anything. He just wants to feel like to be an important member of the team right now. And so far, honestly, I don't think too much has changed for him. I don't think he will see that he is that much important because the only reason why he's played is because injuries to other people. So
Yeah,
I don't really know how much Nacho would be willing to stay more. And I really have no grudge against him if he decides to leave right now because he's been a really, really good servant for the club. So yeah, I mean, whatever he decides, it's gonna be great. I mean, I'm gonna be sad, but I can understand that he wants to play much more especially at this point of his career, where it's literally maybe gonna be the last long-term contract he gets from
yeah.
any club, maybe. So this is just the time to weigh those options and see. But yeah, I mean, not just Mariano as well. I think Hazard also might leave the club, or rather,
Really?
should leave the club as well.
I think his
Oh
contract
no.
is until 2024, and
Yeah, I
this
know, but I mean, the point is the club's just gonna send him away on a free transfer, man. What
we,
else?
who will buy him even for a free?
The question is about, I think it's about the wages. So the point is, if you're taking away the transfer fee, then they can pay the money in wages.
So you're saying Real Madrid is going to have to pay half of his wages, and maybe if he goes to somewhere like
No,
Bayern,
I'm saying the point is that instead of paying something for Hazard, then you just pay that towards his salary. You understand?
mm,
Instead of the club receiving anything, so the club will just be happy to write off his wages. But the point is, Hazard earns so much money as also, it's going to be difficult to find someone to take on his full wages as well because any team he goes into, most likely he become not most likely he is the highest paid player in that team.
yeah,
Except if he goes to what's it called Paris. Other than Paris, I don't think there's any club that has any player that's any higher than Hazard right now. So that's also something quite interesting, honestly. So I don't know how we deal with Hazard, but the hope is if we can go at least, and ease the wage bill out at least, so we can get maybe I don't know some supporting striker or another right winger to the team.
yeah. Did you know Hazard was the highest is the highest paid La Liga player right now? I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
Lewandowski is right below him, and then comes Alaba. And did you know that Vinicius earns more than Benzema?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh wow, I did not know this, man. Wow, this
this was a
is
shocker to me. Yeah,
wow. How is that possible?
Alaba earns more than Benzema as well.
Wow.
I mean, these guys, they
Wow.
had like a really big contract, right? Benzema signed, I think, a 6-year contract or something last year, and then it was a 2-year extension. So I don't
I
know.
did not know this, man. But
Yeah,
Vinicius recently signed a new contract as well. So this is
yeah,
this is something. Let's not forget this. So
yeah,
maybe because we have to consider that because the contract of Vinicius is really new rather. So because of that, I think this is a reason why he earns this much. Because I think when the contract increases, when Benzema rather changes his contract, I think that's gonna change as well.
for sure.
I think that's gonna change. That's gonna change. Yeah, because it's a fair yeah. When Benzema signs his contract, that's gonna change. That's gonna change, man. Wow, but I did not know this, man.
Yeah.
Vini earning more than this, guys. Wow.
All right. Well, yeah, that's most of Carlos' quotes. And then he was like really pestered in the conference as well. So he got asked, "Hey, you gave all of the players like a free day. What did you end up doing with your holiday?" And then he said, "I just went biking with my wife. Why do I have to answer all of these questions?" So yeah, man. The Spanish media is hard to deal with. Just props to him, man. He's the perfect person for this job. Always, always can expect a classy answer.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. Like this is what they've been paid to do, man. To just get questions and make something out of nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. There's like a bunch of Instagram posts by the players. They all posted all of their highlights for the El Clasico. Everyone's in a good mood. Um, so should we head right into the lineups where we can discuss maybe how some of the midfield is gonna get rested?
Yeah, sure. Why not, man? We can see that. We can
Where do you,
see how the lineup is going.
where do you want to start with?
So
The
yeah, we
attack?
can we can start from the defense. We can start
Okay.
from the defense. So we know the back five, it's gonna be Courtois, and the four is gonna be, I don't know. I think it's gonna be Militao and Alaba again,
Yeah.
I guess.
I hope it is
Actually, Tony
Militao and
Rudiger is
Alabama. Even though like
Rudiger
Rudiger
is
is
back, right?
yeah, he is back. He played a few minutes in the Clasico as well.
But I think it's gonna be because I think Carlo was saying something about continuity of Alaba, or if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken,
Yeah.
in
He
the
did
press
say that.
conference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I think he said Alaba had not had continuity this year, so I think Alaba will want to get that continuity, especially going into the last end of the season. So I think that continuity, that connection, that partnership with Militao is going to should be reignited. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, but do you think in the games that Alaba has come on, he has been a better partner for Militao than Rudiger?
Definitely, 100%, no doubt. I think it's normal because Militao and Alaba have played for more than a year together. Rudiger is just coming, and Rudiger is coming in from a back four, sorry, a back five. So
Yeah.
he's played with three centre backs and two wing backs. So it's not easy. Actually, it's not easy, honestly. So yeah, I think, well, 100%. I think Militao and Alaba have been a better partnership.
Yeah, man. So yeah, are we going with Militao Alaba for defense? Do you see Carvajal
Yeah,
getting a rest?
I hope so. I think Carvajal gets the rest actually.
Hmm.
I think Lucas Vasquez comes in, but I don't see Kamavinga getting that much rest. I don't know. But I do see Lucas Vasquez. Actually, I do see Kamavinga getting a rest from being a fullback, but I think he starts in the midfield.
Hmm.
So actually, what
So
I don't know, but I think it's gonna be Nacho, Alaba, Militao, and Carvajal.
no, but do you think maybe like playing in midfield with Kamavinga, he's going to get even more tired if he plays as a left back?
I mean, the point is just take the man out if there's the chance, just rest him if that's possible. That's because the point is, if there's any place for us to rotate, it's the midfield.
Hmm.
That's where we actually have the choices. The Dani Ceballos, the Orient Chouameni, these are players that are very capable and willing players as well. So we can swap either of the midfields out and just put these guys in. So it's more than cool. But I don't
Hmm.
know how eventually it will go. But I don't know. Do you think Lucas Vasquez starts in place of Carvajal? Because I'm actually in two minds. I'm thinking he might. I'm thinking he might not. I'm thinking he might.
I mean, he's going to be faced against Yeremy Pino, if I'm not wrong. I think
Yep.
Lucas Vasquez is enough to, get the job done.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's hope Carlos gives Carvajal so he's a rest, so he's at the top of his game. But so what are we saying? Are we saying Nacho is going to be there at left back?
I'm not sure, man. But okay, who would you choose to rest? Camavinga or Carvajal?
Of course, Carvajal.
Okay, then I think we have to go with Carvajal. Then I think Carvajal is going to be rested. Then Lucas Vasquez starts in his place. But I still think Nacho plays. Honestly, I think it's going to be a Nacho, uh, Alaba, Militao, and then let's see Lucas Vasquez
Hmm.
there.
Well, Dennis is in the chat. He has a different perspective. He says, I think Carlo will play Alaba, LB, then Rudiger and Militao, then he will play Alaba and Militao for the Chelsea game.
Ah, wow, that's interesting. Do Alaba as a left back
And Alaba against
for some?
Chikwueze? Wow, I don't really fancy that.
I don't actually buy that much because for me, I'm looking forward to that, partnership to return between Alaba and Militao. Because the
Hmm.
point is, we've lacked continuity in that centre back pair in this season, honestly.
Yeah,
So I really want to see that, continue, and so they can blossom back into what it was in the previous weeks and months.
yeah, man. Maybe in the second half, when all things are good and when Villarreal are beaten, when we have scored 3, 4 goals in the first half, then maybe. Then maybe we can have
Uh,
Alaba at left back and break up the partnership, bring in Rudiger just to give Camavinga a rest.
how I wish. Okay, why not? Why not? Let's hope for the best.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the midfield then. Who starts in the CDM position?
I want Tchouaméni to play honestly, although I know his form has been really bad. Uh, I want Tchouaméni to play in the CDM position to get, because the thing is that, it's easy to get back into form when the team has a positive morale or positive mentality. And
Yeah.
right now, I don't think, since the World Cup, I don't think we've been at a higher morale than we are right now, honestly, considering the back-to-back, victories. So I would really want Tchouaméni to start. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a right game for him, and it's at home in front of the Real Madrid crowd. So I think in the CDM position, Tchouaméni would be a good option. I think.
Yeah, I don't think like Choumani has been having a really bad couple of games. He has been, I wouldn't say solid, but he has been a bit below solid. He has not put many things wrong. He has defended well. So yeah, I feel like definitely we should give either Cruz or Modric or both of them ideally a bit of rest. So yeah, it's Choumani at CDM. Who takes the right part of midfield? Or,
Good question. Normally, Modric plays on the right?
yeah,
But I think maybe Fede has played on the right as well. So yeah, I think Fede would be good.
yeah. Fede, do you think he should be rested? Because he's going to be really crucial for the Chelsea game. He's going to be watching Carvajal's back.
I mean, if there's any one player that I really don't care about resting him or not resting him, it's Fede Valverde, to be honest.
Fair enough, man. The man has three lungs.
Because exactly, I think, man, if even if his 2 foot are broken, he will just turn around and start working on his hands.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, the love I have for Fede Valverde, like I don't remember a player I actually feel so passionate about in a very long time. Honestly, like I don't know why, but I just feel so strongly about Fede Valverde. Honestly, he's such a wonderful player. Honestly,
Mm. Yeah, Dennis says Choumani, Valverde, and Cruz is his like pick formation for Villarreal. But I want to
Tchouaméni,
ask,
Valverde, and Cruz.
yeah, that's a smooth midfield. Yeah, but I wanted to like
And
ask about this.
honest,
Right? We're talking a lot about these rotations, but do you think the El Clasico midfield was our strongest midfield yet?
the El Clasico midfield was Fede, Modric, and Kroos.
Yeah. And keep in mind, like Camavinga also supports them, right? He cuts in to the left.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's a really difficult question, Jacob. Actually, really. The reason why I say so is because, as you just pointed out, like Camavinga actually supports because really you can see Camavinga drifting into the central areas on the pitch as well. Honestly, and the reason why I'm so reluctant to say it is because call a spade. Barcelona were missing key components of the midfield.
Yeah, even Gavi wasn't playing in the midfield, like basically he was.
Forget about Gavi. Honestly, for me, the midfield of Barca, it's Pedri and Frankie De Jong. And
Yeah,
I think you would agree with me that in the last two Clásicos prior to this one, Frankie bossed the midfield. He played like we were playing in his Paulo. Like
yeah,
this was his field, and we just came to watch him. You understand? He was so outrageously good, honestly, Frankie De Jong. So that's why I'm just kind of a bit skeptical because the point is when you say a midfield of, with all due respect to Frank Kessie and Sergio Roberto and Sergio B,
that's
it's
a
at
no.
least
It's
I would
there is no
expect
respect, man. Like that is a laughable midfield compared to us.
exactly. You understand? So I actually feel like Modric, Kroos, and Fede would for sure outmuscle that. But, but, I don't know. But I kind of feel like a midfield four, not a midfield three,
Hmm.
a midfield four of Kama, Cross, Modric, and Fede is our best midfield option. At least for now, this is what I can say. I don't know, maybe I might be wrong or not, but I think this is our best midfield option.
Yeah, especially take factor in Rodrigo as well playing as a number 10. We can absolutely play out of pressure with any team with this four-man midfield.
Exactly. The thing about, the good thing about this 4-man midfield is that it has the experience, it has the technicality, it has the what's it called as well, the aggression as well. And then more importantly, we have the lungs and the legs.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's it's just muscles and the brains, everything combined together. So I want to say maybe that might be honestly.
Mm, come on, man. But yeah, Dennis still thinks that strongest midfield three, Chamini, Kamavinga, and Modric.
I
Do you
think
agree with that?
Tchouaméni is actually is out of form. I think Tchouaméni is out of form, so I wouldn't put Tchouaméni in there honestly. But I think our best midfield will always and always include Fede Valverde.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think we have a midfield that is better than when Fede is there. Because the point is, even when we see it's a 4-3-3 and Fede is playing as a winger, Fede is not actually playing as a winger. He's just playing as an auxiliary, midfielder, like who is tasked with attacking as well on the right. But honestly, I think whatever our best midfield combination is, it includes Fede Valverde, honestly.
Yeah. That's true. So yeah, we have put down Fede and Chamini to start. Who else? Do you think Ceballos has a shout here? Because he hasn't
So
had a
that's the thing.
sniff, man. He hasn't had a sniff of minutes.
That's the thing, man. I don't think they're just gonna, break up the whole team. And it doesn't make sense to break up the whole team as well, Jacob. So I think we shouldn't, push it too much. If Chouameni, yeah, I personally think this. If Chouameni is starting DM position, I think, and if Fede is playing, one of Tony or Luca is gonna play. You
Hmm.
understand? So this is what I think. So I think he's not gonna break it that much, except if we're saying, okay, let Cross be the DM, which I think is not the best idea in my opinion. Then Cross is the DM, and then Dani Ceballos will play as a left midfielder as well.
That is also an option. Like, do you see actually like that Chomini won't start because I feel like he needs this match, man. He needs this match to get back into form, especially when the
I totally that's why I told you at first. Like I really want Tchouaméni to start. I feel like he needs this match because he's been a bit of a he's lost his way a bit. As you said, honestly, he hasn't put in a bad performance per se, but he hasn't put in a good one as well.
yeah.
You understand? So I mean, the point is, if Kamavinga was just putting in okay performances or Ceballos was putting in okay performances, we wouldn't be here asking for them to play. You
Yeah.
understand? So this is the thing. Like we're not looking for okay performances here. You understand? So uh, yeah, let's see, man. But because the thing is that from now between these two legs of Chelsea, we have games, in between. So I
We have
think even if
Cadiz.
Ceballos and Chouameni don't play, see exactly, we have Cadiz exactly. See, we told you respect to Cadiz, So even if Chouameni and Ceballos don't play today, this game this weekend, they're gonna play the next one because we still have to rest players to go. We're gonna travel to London the next time around. You understand? So
Yeah.
it's just if whoever plays now gets rested the next time or something like this. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, I agree, totally agree with you. I don't think Carlo is like experimenting too much. Maybe,
Exactly.
well, he takes on Valverde early in the second half and brings on Ceballos. Hopefully, I
That's
hope in that way.
possible. That's possible.
Yeah,
That's
like
possible, actually.
we were discussing with Sunil actually, like we were thinking maybe Ceballos isn't getting an extension and that's why he's being pushed out of the team slowly.
Honestly, that could be as well. I wouldn't see past the team doing that as well, but I think that would be unfair because he has been quite important since the end of last season towards the beginning of this season as well. But all of a sudden, he's just nowhere anymore. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, it could be that he's being pushed out of the team gradually as well. That could be.
Yeah, man,
But the
like we
point
have
is,
to
who are you
remember
gonna sign to replace him?
Jude Bellingham. But no, let's see.
I don't know because the point is, if you don't sign Bellingham, the other option is to promote Arribas, and honestly, I will take Ceballos ahead of Arribas right now.
Yeah. And we have to remember, like that Copa del Rey, where we played well against Villarreal, it was all
Yeah,
down to
exactly,
Ceballos, man. All down to
exactly. The
Ceballos.
introduction of Ceballos changed everything. Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually.
Yeah. All right. Have you decided on midfield? Then it's either going to be Ceballos. We're saying Ceballos is not going to start, but it's going to be either Cruz or Modric
Yeah,
along with Valverde and Tchouaméni.
charming. Yep.
Man, for the attack, do you really want to see Rodrigo getting dropped for this game?
I think Asensio should start.
Hmm.
I know Benz and Vini are gonna play. There's no discussion even about this, in my opinion. I think those two are gonna start. But I think Asensio should start to keep. And Rodrigo comes up in the second half, and when we play Chelsea, we do the reverse. Rodrigo starts, and Asensio comes in the second half.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I feel like Asensio is in a good run of form, and like even he got like at the
Exactly.
end of a really good chance in the Clasico, he just couldn't convert.
Yeah. I mean, Asensio of 2016-17 actually would have scored that.
Yeah, man. Maybe if Barcelona were a smaller team, he would be scoring those bangers in as well.
So that's the thing. That's what I'm saying to you. Asensio of 16-17 only scored against big teams, man.
Yeah.
He scored against, Juve, Sevilla, Barcelona. He only scored against big teams, man.
Oh, those Sevilla goals, man. Wow, still remember.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly.
Well, I,
Yeah. So let's hopefully like he can also come in good and get a good goodbye before he leaves. Although I feel like eventually he's just gonna stay.
yeah.
But then it is what it is. I mean, I'm fine as long as he's available, to be that sub that we need. But other
Yeah.
than that, I don't think like I would keep Marco Asensio as a starter in the team. Honestly, I'm not too comfortable with
Not too comfortable. I don't think anyone is comfortable except Asensio.
that.
Uh, yeah. Before we like head into the predictions, let's just read a few comments from Dennis. So Dennis says, "I don't want to see Cruz as a deep playmaker. This is not 2017 when sometimes Cruz would do that. No, what do you think? For sure, Dennis.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've said this constantly. I don't know how they just keep deciding to play Cruz as a lone DM. If you're gonna play a double pivot, then Cruz is your guy. You
Yeah,
understand? But when you're playing a single deep pivot, I don't know how they keep, because the thing is that when you watch the game, even when Casemiro was there, Cruz always, you would see Cruz dropping deeper than even Casemiro. But this is what he does, you understand? But that doesn't make him the pivot of the team.
bro, Farouk, that was a masterclass from Zidane. So basically, Casemiro was the number 10 in our team when we were attacking.
Yeah, man. I mean, the good old days with Casemiro. Honestly, like really, it's gonna be so difficult to replace a player like Casemiro. Honestly, he's such an intelligent player. Honestly, like I mean, people will always associate him with the tackles and the ball recovery and all that. What people will not remember that understanding of space and exploitation of space that he had, because that's a really really, I think it's a really really good thing. And also just now the English players are thinking like that they have discovered a player who has won 5 Champions Leagues.
Yeah,
Like even his passing is so on point, man. Honestly, he's really really good. It's
yeah.
yeah, man. It
The
is what
the
it is. But yeah,
audacity.
it's time to move
They're
on.
all talking like they discovered a hidden gem when they talk about Casemiro.
Exactly. I mean, the man has 5 Champions Leagues. What are you discovering? Where? How? When?
Okay, and
Crazy,
Dennis
crazy
also
things, man.
says, Farooq and Jacob, I think some people in our fan base have a hatred for Ceballos for no reason. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Dennis. I think once what happens is, as Jacob pointed out earlier, is that people are expecting Ceballos to leave, so you can replace him with the almighty Jude Bellingham.
yeah,
Because I think there is a general acceptance here that if Kroos and Modric stays and Ceballos stays, you don't buy Jude Bellingham.
that's for sure.
I think this is one thing that people are coming to accept. So they just feel like, okay, it's either this or that. You understand? So because of that, they've created a sense. I understand that Jude Bellingham is a once in a lifetime player, but so is Fede Valverde.
Yeah,
So is Eduardo Camavinga. You understand? Okay, maybe I wouldn't use the word once in a lifetime for what's he called? For Dani Ceballos, or maybe not even for Aurelien Tchouameni, but the point is Camavinga and Fede have shown that they can do things. You understand? So that's the thing, honestly. But I don't know, man. Honestly, that's the five. As they say, one man's food is another man's poison. What you like might be what someone hates. So everyone has their own choice eventually. But Dennis, man, I am a fan of Dani Ceballos. I think, as I said with Asensio as well, if he can understand that, he is going to play an important role, but a rotation role, I think it's fine. It's more than great.
yeah, but Dennis is all about the Bellingham trade. He says, I think Bellingham would fit us. Of course, he fits us, man. It's just that we don't really need him. We have bigger priorities to fill.
I've never said Bellingham wouldn't fit us, man. Bellingham would fit us like a glove.
Yeah.
The way the glove fits you, it's gonna fit. But the point is, uh, how can I say it? Like you have a how I don't know what it's just like putting a Porsche engine in a Volkswagen or a Fiat, for example.
Yeah.
Then what's the point?
With one tire shot down in the right back position.
Exactly. So what exactly? You're putting a Porsche engine in a Fiat and your left back, or rather your actually your both end left back and you have two rear tires are missing. So you're
Yeah.
just moving on the rims. What are you doing then? In
Well,
that case, I'll better have a perfectly functioning Honda or a Toyota which is perfectly functioning. Because we know the efficiency of the Honda and the Toyota as well.
yeah.
I would rather have them. So this is at least my own case.
Yeah, man. And one thing that needs to be asked is, do we need a backup striker? Because we have seemed to survive so far in the last couple of seasons without a backup striker. And even when we do sign these mediocre ones who would accept a squad role position, they haven't really worked out. Of course, talking about Luka Jovic. But Dennis also says, I want a striker in the summer. I want Goncalo Ramos.
What? Dennis, whatever you're smoking, I want it, man. Do you know how much Benfica sold Darwin Nunez for?
Was
And
it a
I don't know
hundred?
if Dennis knows this. Yeah, it was close to 100. I don't know if Dennis knows this, but when the president of Benfica was selling Darwin Nunez, he said to the people that wait till next summer. I have a player who is even better than this.
Mm,
And he was referring to Gonzalo Ramos. And let's not forget this. Gonzalo Ramos scored at the World Cup on his first start a hat trick where he replaced Cristiano Ronaldo.
yeah.
So I'm sorry, but Dennis, we ain't buying that. We cannot buy that.
Especially as a backup.
We cannot buy that. Not as a backup, for sure, not as a backup. I
Yeah.
mean, there are other players I will look towards, honestly, because I think a player like Thuram, for example, I will look towards that. Like, I think Thuram is actually coming to the end of his contract or 1 year
Mm.
left on his contract. I'm not sure. You can look
And
towards
yeah, and he's a
players like
bona
that.
fide Madrid fan.
And also, I mean, he's played with Karim Benzema in the national team as well, so I'm sure he's
Yeah.
gonna, be able to slot in, especially considering also we have Tchouaméni and Camavinga there as well. So these are some of the players you might want to check. And I don't know, man. Maybe if Choupo-Moting leaves Bayern Munich in the summer as well, that might be a player you want to check for the
Wait,
backup position on it.
he's leaving Bayern? Why?
No, I think his contract ends in the summer, but I don't know if they're going to renew it or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is a player to watch out. I would love to have him as a backup,
Because the point
especially.
is like, okay, Choupo-Moting is not the best person out there. But the point is, we are not looking for the next big thing. We are looking for someone who is going to sub in for Benzema or someone who's going to show something different. So
Mm,
this is just the thing. We're not, I mean, he's quite old, but I'm just looking for a short term solution eventually. I'm not looking for a long term solution. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of short-time solutions, Dennis asks, so what a striker do you want, Farooq? I would take Thuram. He is good. I don't want him Kolo Muani. I don't rate him. Have you seen
Kolo
Muani
Muani is
play?
expensive.
Yeah.
Kolo Muani is expensive. We cannot afford Kolo Muani as a sub, but I think Thuram will be a good one. He's
Mm,
also young. I think Thuram is 25 or something like this. And honestly, I wouldn't mind even Gio Simeone, honestly, from Napoli.
mm,
Honestly, I wouldn't like a player like because the point is one thing I want also to understand here is that Dennis, we're not talking about a bona fide, number nine, a world class number nine. No, we're just talking about someone who can do something. The way Dzeko has been, I don't know if you've seen. I haven't seen a lot of Inter this year, but at the beginning of the season when Lukaku was out injured, like Dzeko did a really good job for Inter Milan. You understand? So the point is, Dzeko is old right now. Maybe he's a bit past it, but he can do a job. So similarly, like as I said, like maybe Gio Simeone might be someone. In the past, I'd actually mentioned what's he called, Andrea Bellotti, but uh, Andrea Bellotti right now is totally out of it, so I wouldn't mention his name. But one player I want to mention is maybe Gianluca Scamacca. I think Scamacca might be a good option as well. Really, I don't know
mm.
if you guys have seen him, but Scamacca he's a beast. I think he's 7 foot or something like this.
What? A
Like
7 foot
Scamacca is
striker?
a
Wow.
I think Scamacca is a really, really. I'm not sure exactly, but maybe we can just quickly check that. But I think Skamaka is the best, honestly. Gianluca
Oh,
Scamacca
our
is
own
quite
dollar
interesting,
store
actually.
Haaland. Okay. Yeah, but we do have
Honestly,
a new
so
commenter. So we have Arpit in the chat. Hey, Arpit. He says, when I said we were getting humiliated, Madrid fans thought I was reverse jinxing. I was damn serious and it happened. So yeah, we do have Barcelona fans in the chat. But yeah, man, like,
actually,
anyways, even talking about these backup strikers, Benzema will eventually have to leave, right? And do you think Haaland comes? Is Dennis's question.
the question is when.
When 2030? Yeah, but do you
Because
think
I
like strikers of Haaland's profile, they stay healthy and they can still be at the top of their game even at that age?
uh, I think we've seen with Zlatan, and if we've seen anything based on what we're hearing about Haaland as well, he takes care of his body so much as well.
Yeah,
So I think because the thing is like if we let's not forget during his Dortmund days, he was so injury prone.
yes.
Even now at Man City, it's lesser, but we can still see that he still misses the odd games here and there, due to injury. So yeah, but I think Haaland might just, Haaland might be the guy. Honestly, Haaland might be the guy.
But we are forgetting about one beast. So Arpit asks, if Madrid brings a striker, what about Endrick? How long will Alvaro Rodriguez be just a backup?
This the story here is that until Alvaro Rodriguez actually burst onto the scene, but
Yeah.
until then, until he actually burst onto the scene and grab everything with his two hands, we cannot say anything. But until then, like right now, he's just still, a potential. And I think Hendrik, similar to what happened with Vinicius, like, I mean, at least I personally don't expect him to come today and start hitting the ground running tomorrow. He's just going to come at the age of 18. So now we need someone there that, eventually Hendrik can work off of what this work with. So, yeah. That's more. And let's not forget, like this is a club that we once had Raul and Nistelrooy together. We once had Raul and Ronaldo together. We had Raul, Nistelrooy, and Christian Huntelaar together. We
Bro,
had Gonzalo
Benz,
Higuain,
yeah,
Benzema, and Raul together. So it's that's I mean we had that even in the 100-point winning season with Mourinho, we had Benzema, we had Higuain. So it's not necessarily it doesn't have to be one or the other. You understand? So with Hendrik just coming in gradually, if there's actually a play for Haaland, honestly, I will be so keen on that if there is a play for Haaland. But the question is there?
yeah,
Is there? So this is the question.
yeah.
Because
Dennis
until then,
says,
honestly, I think we can. Yeah.
yeah, Dennis says it's going to be like 2 to 4 years, and then he's going to be a Madridista.
Haaland coming to us in 2 to 4 years?
Yeah, you see it happening?
Actually, I genuinely feel like if City wins the Champions League, Haaland is gonna come join us. I
Hmm.
don't know when City will win the Champions League, but I know it's a matter of time. They're eventually gonna win it. They're gonna crack the code one way or another. So I think if they can win this year or next year, they're gonna. Haaland might leave, but maybe not this year, but
Hmm.
maybe next year. If they win, he
Do
might
you
join.
wait? Do you predict that City are going to win like way faster than PSG?
Definitely 100%.
Yeah, man.
Paris is. I mean, every day I just scroll on. I go into Reddit and refresh my page because, like, for me, Reddit is my source of news as I don't do the other social media. The
Hmm.
first thing you see is someone reporting that some people are not happy with Kylian Mbappe. The next thing, Kylian Mbappe is not happy with some people. The next thing, this person is not happy. I mean, it's like a keeping up with the Kardashians kind of thing, man. I don't
Yeah,
know. So it is what it is in Paris, man. Honestly.
yeah. So yeah, let's just take one more comment before we like end the pod. So Dennis says, can't wait
Yeah,
for
man.
Endrick to come back next year. He is the next one. People are calling him a newer version of Romario. High praise, man.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
I reserve any comments. I have no comments to that.
Dennis also says 100% that's going to happen. But yeah, let's see. All of his highlights are very, very positive, guys. Like, I don't think I've been more hyped for a player to come in than Hendrick, to be honest. Of course, we have
Well,
Ashik as well in the comment. Just now he says, so what up, gents? Ashik, I don't know what to say, man. Like, we've been talking about Madrid, we've been talking about Villarreal, the El Clasico, transfer rumors for so long. And do check out the pod when you get time, but we are close to ending it. And yeah, let's go for the predictions, Farooq. So
yeah, okay.
Ashik's
Before I
okay, yeah, but
yeah.
just before you like give your prediction, so Ashik says, I can't predict tomorrow's game. Nice left, so Real Madrid is on their own now. So that bit about Ashik's niece is that since he gave Zidane's jersey to his niece, that is why apparently we had these good performances against Barca and whatnot. So yeah, we are left with the predictions alone, so we can't rely on that piece of luck to save us.
Indeed, man, indeed. Anyways,
Okay.
man, my prediction for tomorrow's game, I predict a victory for Real Madrid, but I think it's going to be much closer than our last two games. So I'm going to go
Hmm.
with a 2-1 victory.
You always predict for 2-1 or a 3-1, man. Come on, man. When are we gonna get a clean sheet?
I told you, man, even at the beginning of the pod, man, I'm not too optimistic about our clean sheet abilities yet. But
Hmm.
yeah, it is what it is for now.
Yeah, man. Especially if Kamavinga or someone gets a rest, I don't see us having a clean sheet as well. I'm gonna go for a comfortable 3-1 though, because we just can't seem to be stop scoring, man. Like, let's just go get it. Let's go score against Chelsea as well.
Let's do that. Let's do just that. Score and score. Let's not score all our goals. Let's keep a lot of goals for Chelsea. So that's important.
Mm. And Dennis also predicts a 2-0 victory. So yeah, he predicts a clean sheet, man, unlike us. Confident man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Dennis seems so confident, man. Just he's throwing out names of players and predicting clean sheets. I mean, yeah, I wish I had this level of confidence, man.
Or whatever he's smoking, because it is a Saturday.
Uh,
And yeah, what?
That's true indeed. I mean, whatever he's smoking, we can have a bit of that as well to see how it's how to feel.
Yeah. And Ashik says we're gonna win tomorrow. This is the business end of the season, and Real Madrid means business.
Indeed, indeed, we do mean business. Indeed, Ashik, we mean business.
All right, there you have it, folks. We have our predictions, and if you're still here, do consider giving the video a like. It's gonna help with the algorithm so it reaches the maximum amount of Madridistas. Go check out our Instagram and our other socials as well. The links are all down in the description. We're also partnered with the Real Madrid Committee, who put out excellent content on their Instagram. Do check them out as well. And yeah, as always, Farooq, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid!